All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to CAGcast episode number 705. I'm your host, TBD, here in Long Island, New York. And as always, we're joined by a man who's also changing his name to Crypto.com, Wombat.
That's not bad. I was also thinking a good alternate might have been Wombat, the Taylor Swift version. It could have been that would have been topically funny in a way.
Right. How much to change your name to Crypto.com?
How much you got?
No, not for me. It's for Crypto.com would be paying.
Oh, I don't know. Is that like that? Remember that? What was that game? What was the video game where they paid someone to change their name to the name of the video game?
Was that Turok?
Yes.
Turok, yep. And I was actually thinking of that other one. Wasn't there an MMO that did that? Like they paid the guy to like get tattoos and a mohawk.
Yeah, there was a tattoo. Was there a face tattoo one?
I don't think it was a face tattoo.
That's extreme.
Yeah, I don't think they would do that. This was pre-Malone, so face tattoos weren't really a thing.
Right.
That was a good joke. That was a
pre-Malone. No, that's good. Yeah, that is good.
Yeah.
Very good.
Thank you.
Still in the Carl era. I don't remember what there was a tattoo one. You're right too.
It's probably Turok. It was probably Turok 2 or something.
Although Turok, as someone actually said in the chat, is a pretty cool name. Like there are worse names than Turok.
Crypto.com is not a cool name.
Crypto is not.com is not a good
like
name.
Your first name is Crypto and your last name is .com.
I mean, people may think you're a Superman fan.
Right. Of the dog. But remember there was this Kim.com from Mega. No, what was his original website? I went to a museum exhibit like with all of his confiscated stuff. He started Mega Upload, I think. After
I know
Remember?
what you're talking about. Yeah,
I thought Mega Upload was the sequel to the first. Oh, or was that the original? That got
I know who
down?
You're talking about, and
Kim.com.
I
Anyway,
remember that. That was a thing.
Anyway, welcome to the show, everybody. Everyone in the chat is saying Mega Upload is the original one. All right,
Gotcha.
Good. This is our big pre-Thanksgiving extravaganza.
Ooh.
Don't ask why it's an extravaganza. Just we're here and we're doing the show. That in itself is an extravaganza.
I ordered my shrimp ring yesterday.
Shrimp ring, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Where'd you get it from?
Stu Leonard's.
That sounds better than like Stop and Shop.
Yeah, it is. It's like it's a classy supermarket. Is that like a thing?
Yeah, that's a thing.
Yeah, it's like Whole Foods, maybe even a little step above level.
Sure.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Nice. I don't know what we're doing.
You're not going into your aunt's?
I don't know. Actually, I don't know what the story. I don't think so. I think it might be at my parents' place, but I'm trying to convince them to get the food from Biscuits and Barbecue because I saw their Thanksgiving menu and they have like turduckens, they got deep fried turkeys.
It's not too late to order something like that, though.
Nah, they don't care.
I don't know.
Not for me.
Yeah, I don't. That's true. They love you.
Love me.
Yeah. We were supposed to have a much bigger Thanksgiving, but part of our Thanksgiving guest canceled on us. So
Fuckers.
Yeah. Yes, we're talking about my brother. So yeah, that's appropriate.
More shrimp for you though.
Yeah, that's what I said. That's what I said to my parents. I'm like, well, then we just have lots of shrimp.
Here comes Gout.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome. A new challenger approaches.
Yeah. Welcome, Gout.
Gout wins. All right. Well, what are we talking about here?
Gout and shrimp.
We were just before the show. We were, if you're lucky enough, first of all, join us every Wednesday night on Twitch, twitch.tv/cheapassgamer. And if you, at 9:00 Eastern time, if you come 20 minutes early, we play old CAGcast classic moments. And everyone in the chat has a good time listening to them. And the one right before this episode was the Wombat Xbox Live featured gamer. And
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, where everybody flipped out just because they could contact him easily on the Xbox Live dashboard. And I was thinking about like how much of a social experiment that was. Because
they stopped doing that real quick, didn't they?
They even stopped doing it. It was like a whole thing, and it has been 20 years of Xbox. So I guess it's an appropriate time to bring that up.
Yeah, for sure. That caused a major shitstorm. Like not just, not. I mean, first of all, it was a hilarious bit for the show. I mean, it was very funny. Even I had heard the one classic guy telling you that you suck at games over and over again, trash from the trash can. But you read some, just that some text messages.
I remember, yeah,
and they were really funny. Like, anyway, it's just amazing after that how like basically we're obviously not forced to do anything, but we were very strongly encouraged to have an official Xbox representative on the show to discuss what had happened. And do you remember? Like, it was really intense. It went from like a funny thing to like, oh, I guess we're having like our first guest ever on the show or something like that.
Yeah,
a rare guest.
It really became like a whole thing. We got contacted. I don't think I've ever been contacted by so many people at Microsoft at one time after we recorded that message.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I heard from if there's a name from Xbox, I got it either an email or a direct message on Twitter from them saying, "Oh, we heard that. What do we need to do to make this right?" I'm like, you don't need to do anything.
I think they were asking.
What would you say today if that happened? What would they have needed to do to make it right?
Nothing.
Now,
I would have said the same thing.
Now,
it wouldn't happen today because they have
Game Pass.
Nah,
lifetime supply of Game Pass.
No, I'm good.
They know now. They have systems in place, I'm sure, to prevent that. People from being spammed with voice messages and things like that. But back then in the day, there's nothing in place. It was just like, hey, this is a cool idea. Let's interview a gamer from the community. It'll be really fun. Because, he's a fun-loving guy. Some people like to listen to his podcast. What could go wrong? And
everything.
Everything
the answer
went wrong.
is everything.
Everything went
I literally hit the message cap.
Yeah, and you listen to the tape. Not just you were. There was blowback to anyone that was on your friends list because I guess when you hit the message, they hit the message cap trying to message you. They were just reaching out to like moderators on CAG and like. Fuck that Xbox Live guy. Anyway, it was crazy, and that's how you know we've been doing this for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
They had to develop technologies because of that.
I know, back when we were relevant.
Right. Well, no, I mean, if it happened today, the same thing. I mean, you know what I'm saying.
I know.
They just know they've prepared for that. There's more for them to choose from now, I guess. More podcasts. But yeah, that is funny. 20 years of Xbox. They were cool about it though. Like it wasn't, they were, I mean, I probably still have the emails, but I don't remember feeling like, wow, this isn't like so much fun anymore. This went from just like a really funny thing and just me laughing a lot to now this is a very serious situation. It's like when the prank goes wrong. Mm-hmm. And like you get punished and like someone gets hurt from the prank.
You were the one, you said it at the time. You're like, when you read them, it's funny. But when you hear other people's voices saying these toxic things,
right,
it really loses the humor because it's like, oh, this is like a person and
yelling.
This is yelling, and these are their real thoughts. And that's really scary.
Right. Well, it's much better now.
No, it isn't.
I don't hear anybody talking now.
Oh yeah, you don't hear it, but I'm not saying I don't think people are better.
Maybe I have it turned off. I don't even know what I've got going. I never hear anybody in chat really.
Yeah.
Now they record everything.
I heard some for the first time, like because of Halo.
Really?
I haven't figured out how to turn off the chat. So.
Okay. I haven't heard that yet. Maybe I have it just set to friends only. I'm not sure. But I feel like obviously they've come a long way since then. So shout out to 20 years at Xbox.
And just do you know the So Much Trash guy? He's now he's a sanitation worker in New Hampshire. Did you know that?
I'm shocked.
Good for him. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What's wrong with that?
Nothing. He's now.
He's trash.
Now is.
Yeah. He's trash from the garbage truck.
Yeah, he's trash from the garbage. I don't know that. That's it.
I wonder what he's doing now. You can hear that. Meanwhile, you can hear like a baby crying in the background of that video. Like little brother. It's his little brother. That kid was 12. Anyway, what else can we talk about here? That was just a little aside, just listening to the random clips that we have before the show. It was pretty entertaining show back in the day. What happened?
I don't know. We had a chip.
We had a. Oh, I see. I thought you said we had a chip. like a
We had
chip
a
on our
chip.
shoulder.
Mhm.
No,
That
we have a
too.
chip. I have a new Orange Theory update for you. People seem to like the
Please.
Orange Theory update. I got a taste of my own medicine, sort of, this week. When after one of the classes, a very rare moment happened where somebody spoke to me. That wasn't the coach, just saying good job. This guy who's like maybe like 2 inches shorter than me, but probably like 70 pounds more than me, came up to me and he was like, "Man, that was a tough class. Like, it seemed like it was going to be easy, but it was really tough. It was really hard." And I was like, obviously, I'm like, yeah, they're all tough to me, but I was like, yeah, for sure, totally. And he's like, normally, like, I have this thing, like, I really try to make sure I run 3 miles in every class, 3 miles. And I was like, I don't think I've ever run 3 miles in any of the class. I mean, maybe, no, I don't think so. I don't think I've ever run 3 miles in any of the classes. So I was like, wow. And then I was thinking about it and I'm like, wait a minute, he's shooting for 3 miles every class and I've never run 3 miles in any class. Something's fucked up. And also the guy, I mean, he's big, but he's not like, he's carrying low. You know what I mean? Like, he doesn't look like he would be fast. Let's put it that way. Like, he looked like he'd be a good linesman. Like, I wouldn't want to run into him. But I feel like in a race, I could be okay. But now I'm like, oh shit, this guy's running 3 miles. Now I feel bad, but I don't feel bad. I'm glad that somebody spoke to me. It didn't bother me.
Was that the whole
at all.
story?
Yeah, that's all.
Oh, I thought it was going to go somewhere.
Nah, it didn't go
that
anywhere.
story didn't go anywhere.
No, I have a new friend.
Not anywhere close to 3 miles.
No, I have a new friend though now. Somebody talked to me in the class.
Cool. You guys should take a trip out to 3 Mile Island and run around.
I was thinking
and
about
afterwards you'll
doing.
glow in the dark.
I was thinking about doing one of those turkey trots because they're about 3 miles.
Mm.
But I'm also thinking about not doing that. I've never done something like that before.
Really? You've never?
Like a 5K?
No,
Never.
no.
My wife used to do those like every weekend, and they were annoying because she would be up at 4 o'clock in the
Oh,
morning
fuck that.
to go out.
No, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, and then
Yeah, they
it was
have to
when the
do 'em
kids
really
were
early in
like
the
super
morning.
young, and it would be me and these 2 tiny children, and she'd be like, "I'll be home around 1." I'm like, "Oh man."
Yeah, no, I'm not waking up early for it. But if it's conveniently timed and I don't know, the weather's good,
Mm-hmm.
I might do that. I might consider it.
Usually they're early in the morning though, because they're
Yes,
closing off streets.
Yeah.
correct. It's on
Yep.
Thanksgiving, so I think it's like 10 a.m. maybe. They don't mind closing the streets down here at like 10 a.m. I've discovered that like when I've had some place to go, like, and I didn't know that there was a parade, like a Veterans Day parade. Anyway, how about some show feedback, Wombat?
Sure. Scott Dave has to say, not sure if it's been brought to Wombat's attention, but Ghost is a current BBC show, and all 3 seasons can be seen on HBO Max. Though I have not seen the US version, it appears to be the same show. I'm just bringing this up because I think no less than 15 people let me know that Ghost is also a BBC show and it is on HBO Max.
Another
People are
ripoff.
always going to let you know that there's the British version of the show. That you
Yeah,
watch.
I'm like, I know. Thank you. Let's move past.
Is it funnier, but you can only understand like 75% of what they're saying?
I honestly don't know. I don't know. I don't care. I've been watching the US version.
I see.
I'm still enjoying it.
It's 50% funnier, but you can only understand 70% of it.
Yeah. Oh, it's
what's the math on
origin.
that?
Yo, the radio. Yo, it's in fun. Oh, yo.
It happened.
Oh,
It happens.
oh, Ghost.
It does happen.
Yeah.
What else?
That's School for Brian. This is from YouTube. Had to say that last episode had him cracking up. Shit seeker. LOL. Yeah.
It had duty
Camping
in it. That's why
adventures.
people liked it.
Yeah. People like duty jokes.
Yeah.
I did not encounter any scary toilets other than the one in my house since the last show, unfortunately.
Right.
Sorry.
This feedback is from I Am Not Groot, who signed up for the forum just to leave us this feedback. He said, last week I was sitting around the house listening to the new episode when you mentioned a new show on Netflix called Swap Shop. It sounded interesting to me, so I paused the podcast right when you said that and turned on the show. I like, who does that? That's very weird. I watched the first 3 episodes back to back and found them to be entertaining schlock. The next day I continued the podcast, assuming to hear how much you enjoyed it, and you started going in on how much you and Mrs. Cheapy hated the show, how fake it felt, and how you guys bailed on it after 20 minutes. And I've been listening for 8 years and have never written in before, but I just found this kind of funny and wanted to share. That is weird that you would, I mean, was I hyping it up so great that you're like, well, anything's got to be better than this podcast. Let's just jump on Netflix real quick and see if this beats it
weird.
out.
No, that's weird.
That is funny. But people did, I got a lot of feedback from people who enjoyed the swap and shop phony phone call that I put on the end of the show. If you just go on YouTube and search swap and shop phony phone calls or Sal and Richard phony phone calls, there's hours and hours of them. Go nuts. And there's been some really good, some really nice Apple reviews recently. And I just wanted to read one of them. I made it so small now I can't read it. This is from actually a woman. We have another female listener confirmed. Mark it off on the scoreboard.
Wait, who's the first?
There was one like 2 weeks ago, I remember, or 3 weeks ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. They wrote in, the first line of the review was, I am actually a woman or a girl. This is from Brenda. She says, her brother got me to listen to the show. Been listening for years. He's been listening to these guys for years. We are in the same age group, in our 40s. It's supposed to be a gaming podcast, but they mostly talk about other things. They are usually pretty funny, mostly Wombat. Not sure if that's how it's spelled. They have been getting some bad reviews from some listeners because of their supposed left-wing opinions. I guess nowadays being normal and caring about your children's health is considered being left-wing nut. Whatever, great show. I laughed out a few times every episode. Episode 703, when the other guys were giving Wombat a hard time about using an air mattress while camping, had me dying. I camp a lot, so I was on Wombat's side. They said Wombat a lot in that review.
Yeah, that's because,
I thought you would like it.
I like that a lot. Yep.
Yes. Anyway, thank you for the nice reviews. There's been a bunch of those lately. Feel free to keep calling out how much you like Wombat in these Apple reviews.
That is the appropriate thing to do.
Yes.
I think that's how these reviews should go. It should be like, hey, listen to the Wombat, CAGcast.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah,
it's fun. I like it. You love to see it, especially from women. If you're a woman, speak up, because the numbers say that there's not many of you out there. That's what the survey says. Let's do some more.
I don't know why our show is so female centric.
Well, I mean, we have a lot of heart and empathy.
That's true.
And
we're good to our wives, right? Does that
we
count
have wives.
For something? We have
Sure.
wives.
We support our wives.
We have wives that we, are in our house.
Let's do some Watch This, boys. Now, everybody, before you pause the show and listen and go and run and to watch what we're talking about, just wait 30 seconds to see if we like it or not.
Ooh, that's a good tip.
Yeah, pro tip. It's a whole fun way to maybe consume television. You wait, you see what we're watching, then you go watch it, and then you come back to see if you agree with our assessment. Anyway, we've all watched Shang-Chi now. Is that correct?
Sean.
That was funny. That was a funny part of the movie. There's a lot of funny parts.
Sean.
I liked it.
Good job, Aquafina.
She was funny.
She was funny.
She's generally funny.
She is funny. Maybe a little too much.
I really like that movie. I like it a lot. I don't know what do you want me to say? It's a good Marvel movie. I like the scene.
I would say it was a good kung fu movie.
Yes.
And the Marvel stuff got in the way a little bit, but luckily there wasn't that. You can tell like the Marvel stuff like sticks out. Like
I think it's a middle of the road Marvel movie that I wanted to like more than I do.
I think that's fair too. I don't think there are any wrong opinions on this. I like Act 1 and 2 a lot. I think Act 3 kind of falls apart.
You like bus fight and scaffolding fight.
I like bus fight. I like scaffolding. I like
kung fu movies.
I like underground.
We can't spoil
kung
this.
fu thing. I like all of that.
No spoilers here. We're not going to spoil anything.
Right.
Act 3 surprise.
It's the Marvel part. Act 3 is the Marvel part.
I know. I'm like, maybe.
Do you know how you know when the Marvel part starts?
When they put on a costume.
Little before that, I believe. I think I'm not 100% sure on the timeline. Just there's some parts of it that just like scream like, oh, it's not really just like a kung fu movie. maybe like when they get in the BMW and they're driving around in the BMW, like clearly like the product placement BMW, like for like 10 minutes.
There's like 7 of them in this movie.
There's a lot. Yeah. It's a little like
there's enough
too
of
much
them
lingering in the product.
Where my wife, who does not care or notice these things, actually said while we were watching it, how much did BMW pay for this? So that's how you know when it's too much.
You know what they usually don't have in kung fu movies?
BMWs?
Bing, bing, points
I bet
to
Jackie Chan can afford a BMW or 2 or 12.
Like the main difference is like in the Jackie Chan movie when there's the fight on the bus and the bus is like crashing into things, they're not pancaking McLarens and Aston Martins like in this movie. They're like just nondescript cars that you know maybe cars that you've never seen before in your life.
Yeah,
but these
Can
are
we talk about this movie more at the end? Maybe do we want to talk about this at the end?
Why? Like as a spoiler? Do a spoiler?
As a spoiler.
Okay,
I don't think we need to do a full-on spoiler thing. It's just
it's not worth it.
It's not worth it. No, it's a good movie. I enjoyed it. I just think that the end is
not great.
The end is not great.
Also, a lot of it's Cheapy's like age-old adage about don't think about it too much, because like once I started thinking about this movie after I watched it, there's just so much that it's like that was really dumb.
Just think about the punching,
really
punching parts and the kicking parts.
The punching parts are fine. They have to like. The reason why this is interesting is because I know he's going to go hang out with people that I care about in the Marvel universe.
Well, I mean, we talked about this offline. Is Shang-Chi in the comic books is always a welcome surprise in someone else's comic book, but I've never really sought out reading Shang-Chi comics. Like when he shows up in Spider-Man, it's like, oh, Spider-Man and Shang-Chi, this is going to be cool. And then Shang-Chi tries to teach Spider-Man how to use his spider sense better, and Spider-Man learns something, and it's like, oh, Shang-Chi is awesome because he could teach Spider-Man how to use spider sense, and no one else could do that.
Now let's go see Spider-Man do that.
And now let's go see Spider-Man. Exactly. No, like there was was it maybe 2 years ago at this point, there was a Domino miniseries where she needed to like, you know, she was in Madripoor, of course, and she runs into Shang-Chi who teaches her Kung Fu. And, you know, they wind up sleeping together, and it's like it was a cool little thing, but it was still a Domino comic. It's like, oh, look how cool Shang-Chi is in this, but it's still not his comic.
It was really nice to see a big budget Kung Fu movie, because usually the best ones, the ones from like the late 90s, early 2000s, the Hong Kong ones, they're not obviously on Hollywood budgets. The fighting is awesome, but they're wearing wires and they're being pulled from the ceiling, and they're it's not perfect. And even like the late the more modern ones, the ones that actually try to use CG, it's never quite right. They don't quite have the money, so it looks all a little fucked up. But this looked perfect. Like everything in terms of like the fighting looked perfect. And
that fight on the bus is all time. That's an all-time movie fight.
It's great.
Great.
They had the scaffolding trope scene that's in every Kung Fu movie, but it looked really cool. And, it was just really nice to see.
This movie is a better version of the Snake Eyes movie.
Oh, it is. No, 100%.
It's like almost note for note the same as the Snake Eyes movie,
but without the problems of the Snake Eyes movie.
Correct. It's like, oh, you guys, like if you looked at things like, oh, you guys made the same movie, but they made it a better version of it. Like it's but it's like note for note just about exactly the same.
But you're rooting for the main character in Shang-Chi.
A little bit. Like not completely.
You didn't like him?
Well, they gave him a bit of they give him a little bit of an edge there, but you're still rooting for him. You're not like, I can't like this guy.
Shipwreck was rooting for the BMW.
And they also, at least in Shang-Chi, they give the character enough of a backstory where it makes sense why he might have done things that you may not agree with from a moral standpoint.
Sure.
They develop that character significantly better than they did Snake Eyes, where it's like,
I'm not going to argue that this isn't a much better movie than Snake Eyes.
I know. I'm just saying, it's just amazing how you could watch two movies that that came out around the same time
and they're nearly the same plot. Like they're nearly the same plot,
and supposed to be going up head to head to each other. And there was some sort of media about that is, ooh, which one's gonna be the better movie? And Snake Eyes, it's like it jumps from what is he, like 9 years old to 30 years old with nothing in between and no explanation of how he got there or literally anything.
Sure.
Who raised him? Where was he raised?
Too much Snake Eyes talk. Too much Snake Eyes talk.
Oh my God. I could talk about that movie for the rest of my life because it is
do a spin-off
so bad.
podcast.
It's so
10 episode run, limited run.
Wise, it's perfectly acceptable.
This one.
Like it's Snake Eyes.
Oh, Snake Eyes.
Like movie, like it has all the right stuff. Like if you were to like piece in all the stuff from a Marvel movie, it's like, yeah, it's all there. It's just not executed.
It's just anyway.
Yeah. So Shang-Chi, I hope to like that characters better as it get to a story that I think matters. This suffers from the thing of, okay, well, where are all the people that we know are super powerful while this
they wouldn't have known
thing has happened.
They wouldn't have known about the super bad thing in the third act, to be fair.
They should know though.
They should.
Shipwrecks.
And I can hear my son screaming in the background, by the way.
Me too.
Yeah.
Shipwreck 3.
Yeah.
I saw another movie that's a pretty new movie called The Green Knight, which is an Arthurian legend. It's an A24 movie, so that means it's going to be funky. It's like, they're an independent production.
I know what
they're pretty good. We really liked it. If you liked Excalibur, it's got similar vibes to Excalibur, except it's a much smaller movie and there's less stuff going on, but it does have that same like confusing situations going on. It's very mystical and you're supposed to be a little confused about what's going on. But we really liked it. I think you still have to rent it. I don't think it's available for free yet, but that's The Green Knight. We watched that actually like 2 weeks ago. I forgot to mention it last time.
That's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Are we sticking to the color theme?
Yes.
Sure. I saw a movie with a color in it.
What did you see?
I saw Clifford the Big Red Dog.
And how is Clifford the Big Red Dog?
It's perfectly acceptable for a kid's movie.
Is it cute? It looks like it would just be cute.
It's cute. It's one of those things where you look at the Rotten Tomatoes and Rotten Tomatoes is like 30%, but then all the audience score is like 85 or 90%, right? Because it's all people who are looking for something to watch with their kids. And it's like it extremes up Clifford some, right? Like Clifford is kind of like the saccharine nothing of a story where nothing ever happens in the books. He's like the Thomas the tank engine or whatever.
Nothing ever happens except he's big.
Yeah, it's like everybody loves each other. Like nothing really.
It's not like that asshole Curious George.
Right, Curious George has an edge to him, right?
He was always fucking shit up.
Yeah.
Seriously. Oh, you want to go to the zoo? Not so fast. Curious George ate a goddamn puzzle piece. What the fuck is wrong with you, Curious George?
Right. Clifford just knocks something over and they just fix it.
And everybody's like, oh, that's all right.
Oh, we got to go to the goddamn hospital now. The stupid monkey ate a puzzle piece.
So imagine just fart jokes everywhere, basically, in Clifford. Like that's how they edged him up. Was butthole jokes.
I'm guessing that's very similar to the other Red movie that's on this list.
The one that I watched. Yes, I watched Red Notice on Netflix, which I believe is the biggest movie in the world
ever.
Right? Ever. Yeah. That is the movie that stars The Rock, Ryan Reynolds, and Gal Gadot. Gal Gadot.
A lot of fart jokes.
There probably is a fart joke in that movie somewhere. I watched it with my son. He thought it was amazing. So if you're looking for what this movie is, it's the kind of movie a 10-year-old would find amazing.
I saw Ryan Reynolds being Ryan Reynolds in the movie. And
yeah.
I was like, yep, he's the same character he's always playing. I think I've seen this before.
if you like Ryan Reynolds being Ryan Reynolds and The Rock being The Rock.
Right. Does his eyebrow go up at some point?
Oh, his eyebrow goes up at some point. They fight. There's fighting.
Big muscles.
Muscles. There are jokes about, oh, but he's so big. And, it's like, oh, if I, big guy jokes. And it is also the second movie I've seen this year where people escape out of a Russian gulag on a mountaintop for no reason.
Black Widow.
Yes, it's basically that same scene again.
I haven't seen that movie yet.
Spoiler, there's a dumb scene with a Russian prison.
Both Black Widow and Red Notice have the same prison escape scene. Like, it's literally almost note for note, which is weird.
You got a deal on the location.
It's very strange. But I saw
Which
Red
one
Notice.
is the Snake Eyes of this version?
What, a Red Notice?
Of Red Notice versus the Black Widow.
The Rock is the Snake Eyes of Red Notice. So, yeah. They're hunting down Cleopatra's eggs.
I can't watch it.
Cleopatra's famous golden eggs.
Like the eggs that she produces?
That would make, that would be such a better movie.
Is this a Serpentor movie again?
If this was, first of all, our Serpentor movie would be amazing. But second of all, Red Notice would have been such a better movie if they were actually tracking down these eggs because they contained her DNA to make like a Cleopatra baby.
Why would it be any different? Wouldn't it be the same?
This is a pretty good
jokes?
movie, I think.
I like this movie so much better. Ryan Reynolds wants to make a Cleopatra baby, but not if Gal Gadot has her way. Only one person can make and raise the perfect Cleopatra clone. Who will it be? The Rock? Gal Gadot? Ryan Reynolds? Tune into Netflix this fall and find out.
Nope. I'm not even going to watch this movie. The real one.
No, the real one's just
I don't even know what this movie's about. Like, I feel like
okay.
This movie is about having Ryan Reynolds, Gal Gadot, and The Rock in it. That's how this has been presented to me.
So Ryan Reynolds is an art thief trying to find all three of these Cleopatra eggs so he can sell them to some king for $300 million. And The Rock is trying to bring Ryan Reynolds in for justice. But at the same time, there's another art thief who's like a bigger art thief, and that's Gal Gadot. So he's using Ryan Reynolds to get to Gal Gadot so he could bring them both in. Oh, and he also has to clear his name because now Interpol thinks that he's also an art thief.
It sounds horrible. I bet Shanna fan loves this movie.
I bet, it's a really dumb movie. It's a definitely a turn off your brain movie, which sometimes is fine. But
of course. I want to do a movie review show with Shanna fan where we pick movies like this and we both watch them, and then then I'll make him watch like The Green Knight, and I think hilariousness will ensue. It'll be very predictable. What else we got here and watch this, boys? Some TV shows. We finished The Haunting of Hill House on Netflix. That's the Mike Flanagan show.
Been talking about it.
Finally finished it. Much, much scarier than Midnight Mass. So if you're interested in checking out either of those shows, this one is actually scary. Very well done. Highly recommend it. Again, what makes these shows good, it's about the characters. It's not just about like trying to have jump scares and cool special effects. It's pretty cool, but depressing. It's depressing. If you're not looking for a depressing type of haunted house situation, stay away from Haunting of Hill House. We also started watching My Name on Netflix. This is a Korean drama. It's a Korean mafia / police drama. Very similar storyline to The Departed. But if you like watching an Asian woman kick the living shit out of men with awesomely choreographed fight scenes, like it reminds me of The Raid, like just really hardcore, or like the good scenes in Daredevil, in the Marvel series Daredevil. My Name has that. We watched the first 3 episodes. Every episode has had a kick-ass fight scene where this woman just fucking unloads on like a group of guys, and it's pretty well done. Korea's got good stuff. I didn't realize. Squid Game has opened my eyes.
Well, I finished watching The History of Late Night. I finished up that series.
That's not Korean.
It's not Korean, but it was very good.
I think
I
the
learned
Korean
a-
version of that's better. It's all about
I
the
doubt
Korean
it.
late night shows.
Yeah, I learned a lot about late night that I did not know. Also, it was really interesting to watch the Conan O'Brien, Jay Leno episode, which in many ways is probably more interesting than the Jay Leno, David Letterman stuff, which also is really interesting.
Yeah,
and that's all. They have an episode on each one of those things. Gets its own episode, so I highly recommend that series. I thought it was really good. So
I remember all that shit going down. They used to talk about it on Howard Stern all the time because Howard was really interested in the late night wars. So
it's really interesting stuff.
Yeah.
It's amazing what happened, how people got away with it, what people did, how big of a douchebag Jay Leno was, and I don't know, I guess is. It's pretty crazy. Like what they did to Conan O'Brien at NBC was so shitty. I know he walked away with like $50 million.
He came out all right.
Yeah,
but his ego is fucked probably, and
the TBS show that he did for a decade was a really good show
that nobody watched.
I mean,
on YouTube, they watched it on YouTube probably.
It got a lot of YouTube bits, but I really like that show, and I'm sad it's over.
Yeah,
but what Conan has that Jay Leno probably doesn't is that is a legacy. Because people talk about Conan, people are like, "Oh, who are your influences?" And people will say Conan O'Brien. You never see anyone say, "Oh, well, my biggest influence was Jay Leno." It's just not that's like just not a thing.
I have not heard that. That is true. I can agree with that so far.
But I hear a lot of comedians and other podcast hosts say that their biggest influence was Conan O'Brien. So
makes sense.
All worked out.
Yes,
for Jay Leno.
Yeah.
I guess it worked out okay for Jay Leno.
Yeah, Jay Leno has
worked out great for everybody. Everybody involved.
Financially, at least.
Yeah, it worked out fantastic. I finished watching Only Murders in the Building.
Oh, how was that?
It's good. Did you finish that?
Yes.
Yes.
Everybody finished it.
Yep.
Good job.
We loved it.
We all got to the end of it.
Yeah. Ready for season 2.
Yeah.
In some Watch This Boys news, did you know that there's a special recut of Rocky IV coming out? Recut by Sylvester Stallone himself.
Isn't it already out? I thought it came to theaters like one.
It's out. Yeah. I guess it's out now, but there was a review posted recently, so I didn't realize it was out.
I knew that it was coming to theaters like one night only or something.
I don't know how to watch it now at home. I'm assuming there's going to be a way to do that, but they cut out the scene with the robot with Paulie's robot.
Yes, everyone knows they cut out the robot.
But that's his whole isn't he has like one other line in the movie, right?
Who's watching a Rocky movie for Paulie?
I mean, I don't know.
Happy birthday, Paulie. Like a little bit like cutting out the Ewok celebration. I don't know. This feels weird.
Yeah, it was like his big scene. It was Paulie's big scene.
Right.
He doesn't have much to do other than interact with the robot.
Why was that cut? What, do we have a reason?
They thought it was silly. I think this cut is supposed to be more serious, right? And
this is.
Yeah.
I never thought that was.
It was like there's like a tweet that Sylvester Stallone actually made about it.
Yeah,
I saw it like a couple of days ago. I was like, I don't like the robot.
Find that shit. But the robot, I remember. First of all, that movie. I remember seeing that movie in the theater, and it was actually culturally important at the time because the Cold War was such a was a real thing. And people were really go USA, boo Russia, in the movie theater. And I think it was
they all came together at the end.
That part was really dumb.
The people in your movie theater didn't like it? You guys didn't all hug?
Rocky.
It's if you think about it, the whole movie is Russia versus USA. USA is great. Russia's literally cheating through the movie.
Yeah.
Did you not feel like you could change at the end of that movie?
And Rocky's if I could change and you could change, we could all change. But the reality is...
That was a pretty good Sylvester Stallone impersonation.
I was rushing through it. I'm not trying to do it. I'm not trying. I could do a good one.
You could change.
I could do... Ask me, and what are those results?
And what are those results?
Whatever he hits, he destroys.
Your Stallone was better.
Oh. So the whole thing was based on Russia sucks. They're literally cheating. But then at the end, when the Russian crowd starts cheering for Rocky, it's oh, what? They're just all of a sudden they realize America's great and we're just gonna be fuck it. we're gonna just cheer for Rocky. Like it's like such like American exceptionalism,
Rocky.
like for no reason. It's just like, well, he's the underdog, and I guess everybody loves America. You know, they do have Superman.
Yes.
Anyway, maybe they fixed that in the new cut. Maybe there's more of a reason why we see the crowd going on.
I
to
hope
Rocky's
there's more
side.
Drago
Talia
just kills
Shire.
Rocky. Is that what happens in the recap?
Yes. I will crush you. I crushed him. Credits.
Right. And by the way, whatever he hits, he doesn't destroy.
I crushed. He's crushed.
He wasn't. He
like
was a fine.
soda can.
Right. I didn't even think the robot scene was silly. I thought like it just showed like how successful Rocky was. That he could have.
I thought that was the point. Was like how stupid successful he was.
Yeah.
That,
He's buying shit that doesn't even exist for his brother-in-law.
Right.
Like even as when did that movie come out? I don't know how old I was, but even I put that together back then. I was like, wow, this guy has more money than he knows what to do with. He's just buying shit that doesn't, like fucking making robots and giving them away. Anyway, I'll still watch it though. First CD I ever bought.
Rocky
by the
4
way.
is great.
First CD I ever bought. Rocky 4 soundtrack.
That's solid.
Not Eye of the Tiger. That's the name of the theme song in it, right? Not Eye of the Tiger. It's not what it's called.
It might be on the soundtrack, is it?
Eye of the
They
Tiger.
might just throw it on there. No, for fun.
Living in America is on the soundtrack to Rocky 4.
Yep, that was James Brown's biggest hit, I think, ever.
Yeah. It's his only like top 10, not top 10, maybe only number 1, something weird like that.
See, my first CD was White Men Can't Jump soundtrack.
Is it Burning Heart? Is that the name of the song from Rocky 4?
Yes, of course. Rocky 4.
Yeah, Rocky 4.
There's a lot of songs. What are you talking about? You're making it sound like there's one song. There's a million songs.
And then the rest are all Frank Stallone. It's the one Survivor song.
Are we transitioning into the compilation album?
I don't have the CD handy. I can tell it to you. I don't need to look it up. I know all the tracks on there.
And the rest are Frank Stallone.
It's got a lot of keyboard stuff.
It's got such hits as "My Brother Gave Me This Album," and other things like
I wouldn't have bought it.
Sly, "Don't Cut Me Out of the Soundtrack" is another one of the songs.
Hearts on Fire, Burning Heart, Training Montage, War, Living in America.
That's a collector's item, Ship. Kids Bop 2.
All right, let's get out of Watch This Boys. We're done. We're done with Watch This Boys. We better do some ads because.
All right, let's talk about our good friends at HelloFresh. What is HelloFresh? With HelloFresh, you get fresh, pre-portioned ingredients and seasonal recipes delivered right to your doorstep. Skip trips to the grocery store and count on HelloFresh to make home cooking easy, fun, and affordable. That's why it's America's #1 meal kit. The holidays can be hectic, but HelloFresh keeps things simple with recipes and ingredients that cut out grocery shopping and limit meal prep time so you could spend more time of the festive season with friends and family. They offer 50 menu and market items to choose from every week, including vegetarian, calorie-smart, gourmet options, providing variety, ingredients that travel from farm to your door within a week, so you get convenience without skimping on the quality. I today had the cauliflower rice. It was like a southwestern ground turkey with cauliflower rice, and it was so good. I could probably eat that every day. It was delicious. Go to HelloFresh.com/CAGcast14 and use code CAGcast14 for up to 14 free meals and 3 free gifts. That's right. Go to HelloFresh.com/CAGcast14 and use code CAGcast14 for up to 14 free meals and 3 free gifts. HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit. Now we're going to talk about trade.
Now,
would you consider yourself a certified coffee nerd or a self-professed coffee newbie? Don't answer that. Because either way, you need to hear about trade. Does your at-home coffee just not live up to your expectations? Trade can change that. Trade's goal is to make every cup of coffee your best ever. The journey to your perfect cup starts with taking their coffee quiz. You use a French press, automatic drip. You're a cold brew, no problem. Your answers will allow Trade to pair you with the perfect coffee to fit your taste. Trade will match you to coffees you'll love from 400 plus craft coffees and they will send you a freshly roasted bag as often as you'd like. Trade guarantees you'll love your first match. On the off chance you don't, they'll replace it with a different bag for free. Give feedback as you sip. As your preferences evolve, your coffee matches will too. You can feel good about each cup since trade partners with over 55 small US-based roasters who are committed to ethical and sustainable sourcing. I showed you my bag. I didn't bring it with me last time of trade coffee, but it's significantly smaller now because I drink a pot of trade coffee every morning. I drink it. I love it. It gives me the energy to get through this show with cheapy. And if it works for me, it'll work better for you. For our listeners right now, Trade is offering your first bag free and $5 off your bundle at checkout. To get yours, go to drinktrade.com/CAGcast and use promo code CAGcast. Take the quiz and start your journey to the perfect cup. That's drinktrade.com/CAGcast. Promo code CAGcast for your first bag free and $5 off your bundle. And this holiday season, give the coffee lover in your life the gift of better coffee too with their own personalized gift coffee subscription from Trade. Enjoy.
Awesome.
I'm getting everybody a bundle.
Could you?
Yeah.
Bundle of what?
Coffee.
A lot.
Mm-hmm.
That's a crop. How about some new releases?
New releases.
Yes. I've been playing some new releases. I've been playing some Battlefield 2042.
Why?
They sent it to me.
I know.
But I got 10 hours of it. You got 10 hours of it, Wombat.
I know. I saw that, but then I have to download it, and that's a whole thing.
It's a big download.
Yeah.
Like we've reached the point, like all these games came out at once, and nobody.
Is there a single player in that one or no? I honestly have no idea.
No, there's a lot that I've found.
There's not. There's supposed to be some other add-on coming where you can basically make your custom games and have like your future army, you fight your past army, but that's not out yet.
All right. So what is out is you're capturing the A's and the B's and the C's, sometimes the D's.
Yep.
I think. They've shortened the distance that you have to run after you die to get back and die again. So that's good.
People in chat are saying that Portal is out. That's the mode that I was talking about.
Oh, okay.
I did not know.
I think that's what I've been actually playing. I didn't know that was what you were talking about or not.
You've been playing Portal?
The
Aperture Science.
I've been playing whatever the little thing at the bottom is. The bottom left corner. Is that the Portal thing?
I don't know. I only played it once and I bounced after like half a round.
Oh, really? You did not enjoy it at all?
No. Here's the problem. I'm not good at the vehicles because I don't know. You have to really practice, put in the time to be good at the vehicles. And the vehicles seem to be like a pretty big part of this game. And I'm like, do I really want to put in the time to learn the vehicles, or maybe just play something else like Halo?
Play something that you're enjoying more.
Something like that.
Before we get to that one,
yes.
So yeah, I'm not. I have no idea like what I'm supposed to be doing in Battlefield, like other than like shooting people. Obviously, like I'm shooting people, but like the enemies rolling in with these tanks, right? We're doing our whatever mode it is where you capture like the A, B's, and C's, and whoever has them, that's like run the map. It takes that's
the mode. That's the mode.
Okay. There's a couple modes. I've played a couple modes in this, but so like they're rolling with their tank, and I'm like, okay, can I do something against this tank? Because I'm not in a tank. So I'm like, surely I can go up here and like, there's got to be something that I can do to like get rid of this tank.
Shoot it with a missile.
Like rolling around. I don't have a missile, right? Like I got like I don't know, assault rifle that they give me and a pistol and whatever my loadout is. I don't know. So I just walk up to the tank and I jump on top of it, and they're just driving around with me on top of the tank.
Sounds like Far Cry.
And it like I'm like hitting every button. I finally figured out that one of my things was like I could put out like barbed wire fence, like cover type things.
Okay.
So I'm on top of this tank, and I'm just like throwing out fences to where I basically trap him from being able to move in like, I don't know, 3 out of the 4 directions he could move.
Okay. The tank.
And the tank. So we can't, like,
You've trapped the
almost,
tank with your body.
Yeah, I've almost incapacitated this tank for whatever reason, but I'm just like still sitting on top of it, like just shooting at people. And I'm like, oh, this is pretty dumb, but I don't know what else to do.
Right.
Like, we were capturing the things.
Grenade. How about a grenade? Doesn't work.
I don't know. Like, I tried to blow up the tank. I don't know. I shot down some helicopters. The shooting down the helicopters go down pretty quickly.
Okay.
The tanks seem to just stay out there for a long time. I'm gonna play more of it. It's
Shipwreck actively avoiding the first-person shooters that I play.
Sure, you have
there's so many to choose from, but
yeah, there's so
many.
There are a lot.
It's like canceling Netflix, so he doesn't have to watch the shows that I like. If you can only cancel 90% of the games out there. All right, well, I'm glad you're liking that. That's cool.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't played that much of it yet, but I don't know. It seems like the rest of these things, like, it's you shoot people, you get shot, like you die quickly, you kill people quickly.
Right. Were they
That's
excited?
what all these things are.
Were they excited that Halo came out? Surprise.
I was Battlefield excited. I'm sure they were like, yay!
Yeah.
I'm sure they were having a party and yeah.
We picked this date because there wasn't nobody here. And now there's somebody here and it's Halo. Oh no. Yeah.
I think that's
and it's free. Oh, and it's free.
Oh.
Halo's really good.
I've been playing a lot of Halo.
I know you
I have not played that much Halo yet. Like, I've only gotten maybe, like, I don't know, less than 5 rounds in.
I played it. I played some Halo. I played against some bots too in Halo. I like that's like one of the things I could do. I'm not really a big Halo multiplayer guy, so it's not really for me. I know it's more for cheapy, but
I do well in it somehow. I'm still like at I guess the point skill wise where is matching me with people who are equally shitty as me. So, but I feel like that changes at some point, and then I'm just gonna get bodied.
I do fine with it, and it's all because of the different mechanic that's in Halo. It's not the, like, all the rest of these games you like get like shot twice, and you die, and there's nothing, like, you just have to get good at the game, right? Like, right. Halo's, it's like, oh, okay, there's a mechanic here around, like, I'm gonna shoot at this other guy for a little while, and like, you have the shield and you can recharge your shield and do all the Halo stuff. What I forgot was all of these, like, the power-up things. I'm still learning how to do all those again.
They added a bunch of shit that you have to learn now, like grappling.
Right, like there's some learning involved. Like,
yeah,
I'm still at the point where, like, yeah, they give me my standard Halo rifle and I can go kill some people. I haven't learned all the other crap yet.
There's a lot of guns too that I don't know what they do. I'm still shooting them. I'm like, this looks like, I don't know, this looks like a grenade launcher, but nothing's exploding out of it. It's just,
this one is named after a dog, so I'm assuming it's good.
A shotgun.
Yeah,
the shotgun one's cool. Like the
bulldog.
I
like the bulldog.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's that. I guess that's
like a shotgun.
Oh, you're talking about the
space with a
shotgun.
revolver.
You're talking about
the other one,
the laser shotgun.
The laser shotgun.
The heat wave.
The heat wave. I like that one. That's a good gun.
I like the old school shotgun.
Halo's really good.
Mm-hmm.
I like playing Halo. The rounds are appropriately timed. You don't feel like you're in there playing forever.
I just feel bad whenever I play that game because I know I'm the worst person on my team, and I don't like the 4-on-4 because I'm.
It's a significant impact.
Yeah, and you can't choose what you want to play.
Have you tried getting good?
I don't, but I would probably get better if I was playing like free for all as opposed to playing Team Rumble, because I wouldn't feel like I'm letting my team down.
I feel like the only way you're going to get good is if you watch a video on how to get good or take a lesson. That's what I think.
Taking a lesson or watching it. That's dumb.
You wouldn't watch a video on how to.
No, you have to put in your hours and play.
But you have to know. No, yeah.
The only way to get better at something is by doing it.
But what?
The only way to get better at something is by doing.
So, like, coaches should not exist.
No, coaches are there to tell the people that have put in the hours and tell them,
how to put in the hours?
You're good at quarterbacking.
Whatever.
Here's where you should throw the ball. Right. That's what a coach does.
When's the last time you spoke to a coach? That was for you.
I spoke to a coach
For
tonight.
you, that had something to do with you.
I spoke to a coach tonight. My son's
Yeah, the
gymnastics
you
coach.
for your coach.
And he said, "Oh, your son made it to level 5 today. That's
Right.
very impressive." And I said,
And then you
"That's
said, "You're
great."
useless. He should just figure this out by himself."
Saying I don't need a Halo coach. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Just have fun. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Halo.
You said you feel
feels-
bad about your teammate.
Yeah.
I
Letting
do
your
feel about
teammates
them.
down. But not that bad.
Just mute them. It's fine.
I do. Oh, it's the first thing I do in any game is mute.
I haven't
Right.
played multiplayer in so long that
Comes back so
I've
quick.
forgotten all of this stuff, right? Like how to mute people and why people are talking to me, all of that stuff.
Right.
It's all new to me again.
You can
It's
shut
been
all that
years.
down at the system level, just friends
Oh,
only.
I'm going to.
Yeah, I've done.
Yeah.
No, just in the Xbox dashboard, like nothing to do with the game.
Yeah.
I'm pretty
But-
sure I've done that.
I'm
also
doing okay so far.
I'm sure
Like,
you're
I'm
doing fine.
I'm like 50-50 somewhere in that range on kill death. Some of it is me just like I got in I don't know an ATV or something on capture the flag, and I'd never been on the map before, so it's just like here we go, and then here's a bottomless pit.
That'll happen. You forgot how to
Yeah.
drive too. It's a unique. Halo's unique in how you drive the vehicles. There's really no other game like that where you're driving with the camera. So if you forget that that's how you do it, you're gonna drive into some canyons. But
Yep.
I got it down. I'm splattering people, no problem.
Microsoft, like with delaying that to come out the same time as Forza, like if they had Xboxes to sell this holiday,
they'd
they'd
be
be
selling
doing
them.
pretty well.
Hopefully they can do a good job with the battle pass. It's not capturing my imagination.
I don't know what it is. What is it?
It's no different than any other battle pass.
I don't know what any of those are. What are those?
There's like things, yeah, they're doodads, I guess. And it's
Your parts for your
typically-
armor. You're unlocking
What
armor
level
parts.
are you, by the way?
It's
like
very difficult to go up. I'm like 3
right?
or 4.
I
Three,
hit
I
level
think.
1. I thought I was a Halo god. You know, I'm like, oh look, I got a level. I unlocked a thing. And yeah, I also, I've said this before. I mean, what's the point of unlocking a helmet I can't see?
You see it at the start of every match. It looks so cool. It
You
flies
see
by.
it too when your body flops around.
Yep.
Yeah,
It
exactly.
looks good.
I need to die in order to see the thing I unlocked.
Halo makes me feel like a gaming god sometimes because the kills are very visceral. They feel like everything feels like it has weight to it, and melee is such a big part of it too. So it feels unique compared to other first-person shooters, and it somehow
I do a lot of punching.
you have to.
Punchin's
It's a
yeah,
huge part of the game. Like it's just that's the only way you're gonna have a positive ratio.
Punching's the way to go.
So I really it feels unique to me in that regard, and that's why I always like Halo. Thank you,
There's a
Halo.
lot of kickback in that assault rifle, though. The default one.
I kick ass with
Lots
that.
of-
Aim right for the fucking head, baby.
Yeah, that's what- yeah, just aim for the head.
Mhm.
Short burst to the head. Move around a lot.
I'll stick with other things, I think. But I am
Mhm.
excited for the campaign, so
I bet it's going to be good.
I bet it'll be good.
I bet
I
it'll
like
be
that.
good.
I do like those Halo campaigns.
Right.
hmm
What else we have? These are all new releases.
Has everyone been playing the new Skyrim? That's not new. Old new Skyrim.
Anniversary edition?
Yeah.
No, I'm playing Halo.
I actually didn't even install the new. Like, apparently there's graphical updates to it. I didn't do that yet. So.
Yeah. I think you
Bad,
put in enough
bad time to release that, I think.
Yeah, I have to. There's too much else going on. Every time I think I'm going to do it, I'm like, but I want to do this other thing right now, whether it be driving in a circle or,
What are you driving in a circle?
Forza.
Don't
Never
drive in
drive
a circle.
in
That's
Forza.
why it's good.
There's a couple of
How
races. where
dare
drive in
you
a
miss the whole
circle.
point of Forza? No, there are. That's true.
Yeah, there's
I've
plenty of
hardly
races
done-
where you
like,
drive in a circle.
I'm level 30 something in Forza at this point.
Psh,
I was somewhere around Wombat's level this last time that I played, which was a couple days ago.
mhm.
I've
I'm
hardly done any
56
races
now, I think.
Oh my god, what are you playing?
A lot.
I don't know. You know what it is? I've been doing those.
I do know what it is. You've been
56
playing a
levels
lot
worth,
of
yeah.
Forza. Yeah,
It's the Goliath races. Is that what they're called?
Yeah, the long ones.
The long ones. I've done 3 of those, and those take the one I did. I had a day off yesterday, and I played in the morning.
Okay.
Yeah.
That explains how you got to 56.
Oh yeah, I know. I had a day
You
off.
played an
and
entire day of Forza.
I did that one race. It was 24 minutes and 15
I
seconds.
did one of those too, and without knowing it was a long
I'm like,
race.
oh my god, this is so long. Because that was the longest of the ones I've done. I did one that was like 15 minutes, and I thought that was too long.
Right.
But 24 minutes
Yeah.
was really is a long race. But when you finish it, all the bars like they fill in like 3 times.
And
I
you
get
got
lots
rewind, so you're never
you
gonna
get
be
so many numbers when you finish those races.
Yeah. Mr. Spork in the chat.
Okay, good.
Sorry, before we move on, Mr. Spork in the chat, first time chatter, asks how many times has Wombat played through Skyrim?
I think I played through Skyrim twice as far as completing the story goes. My first playthrough though is like I did everything, every faction and little nook and cranny. My second playthrough was a little more lackadaisical because it was more about what did I enjoy from the first playthrough and focused on that. So I would say 2 full playthroughs and probably like a half of a third.
Very solid.
Mm-hmm.
What else we got?
Shin Megami Tensei 5 came out for Switch.
What's that?
That is the 5th Shin Megami Tensei game.
Can you explain to me the storyline of that game from the beginning and where we are now?
Yes. Demon summon people is RPGing its way through these games. It's like the Persona, where Persona came from.
What is a Persona?
You shoot yourself in the head, and out comes your persona, and you fight people.
Yikes! That sounds very Japanese.
It is.
Yikes!
So.
Big yikes!
I would like to play that. It's holiday season, so I'm in lockdown on purchases. So, but I don't know. That looks cool. I would like to play that on my Switch.
Nice.
Excellent.
Yep. Can we talk more about Forza?
Sure.
What do you want to talk about from Forza? What do you want to talk about?
I don't know. It's a good game.
It is a good game.
Playing that game. I have not been playing like hardly any races. I've just been opening up all the festivals and doing all of the side stuff.
Up. Yep.
You've done everything?
You mean like the tickets, like all the different circles?
Like all the
you punched all those.
I did. No, I didn't do all of those. I've completed 2 full tickets.
Oh, that's not so many. I did more than that.
That's not so bad. Yeah.
And then, I have unlocked at least one thing at each festival.
Oh yeah, I've unlocked.
I've done that.
So I'm like 2
festival, I think.
2 full tickets, and I think I'm on the last thing of the 3rd ticket. The monster truck race was because I'm doing it. Once I unlocked them all, I did everything else basically in order of unlocking the tickets. So
yeah. You have to do it in order.
Yeah. Once you unlock everything, then you do it in order. I understand the rules.
Yeah, good. I'm glad.
Yeah, no. I understand the rules on how this works.
You don't have to do it in order.
Never mind.
Don't do it in order. All right. Anything else for
Forza? How many
Forza?
cars do you have? How many cars, Wombat?
Jesus. I want to say it's a lot. I want to say it might be 85.
Okay, we have around the same number of cars then.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. When you do doing races, it's like it doesn't always.
It doesn't matter. You don't need to do the races.
Yeah.
It's a very odd game that you don't have to do any races.
The problem is
I get so much content. That's why
I do too many wheel spins where I don't get cars. Is my problem.
Same problem in the last game.
Got to get good.
I don't think that's how the wheel spins works.
I showed you some of my spins. I was getting 3 cars across the board on my super.
I don't even get that many mega spins. I get like 1. I think I've gotten like 5 mega spins total.
I'm just swimming in them.
I don't know. I get regular spins, a lot of regular spins, but I usually just wind up with like, oh, you got brown socks. I'm like, great.
Right.
I got those. I get the brown socks.
Thanks for the brown socks.
I've got my striped dress and brown socks is what I generally in my space helmet.
I got a black leather jacket that was kind of cool and a red hat.
Red hat?
You got a red jacket.
I don't have a red jacket.
I literally unlocked a sad trombone horn.
That's a good horn.
I have the
it's not that good though. Not a good recording.
Mine's just Rubber Ducky right now. My kids wanted it to be the Rubber Ducky, so I've got Rubber Ducky horn. It's
a good game.
That game's really good.
Yeah, a lot of good games on the Xbox right now. It's a good time to be an Xbox owner.
Yep.
Let's move on. Are we done with the new releases?
I think so. Yeah.
Shipwreck? I'm waiting for Shipwreck to confirm. This is his time to.
I'm gonna get that Marsupilami game, but
you are Hobo
Is
Adventure.
that like a Disney thing?
Well, Marsupilami was a Disney cartoon. It is that creation, but it's a I don't know, French or Belgium property originally that was similar
like
to
Smurfs?
Asterix and Smurfs. Yeah, similar in that vein to those. So it's been around. It's a property that's been around for a long time. But yes, it also had a Genesis game back when it was a Disney afternoon cartoon. Yeah. So
Never heard of it.
We have a Marsupilami stuffed animal that I bought in France when I was dating my wife in high school, and my kids have that now. They play with it. So we're a Marsupilami household here.
Fantastic then.
Yep.
I could tell because you knew how to say it so quickly. I still can't say it.
Marsupilami. What's hard to say?
It sounds like a Italian meat.
No, that's marsup salami.
We got what do we got now? Oh, we got Wombat's fortnightly news. Yay! And there actually is Fortnite news, I guess. Meaningless to me, but you seem excited about it because there's an exclamation point.
There is so there was the last update of the season was on Tuesday, and people go in and they hack that code, and they found that this is the end of chapter 2. We're in chapter 2, season 8 right now, and on December 5th through the 7th, I guess it launches on the 7th, we're gonna get chapter 3, season 1.
Can't wait.
Whole new island.
Man, straight to chapter 3 after
after 2 years of chapter 2.
We're finally to chapter 3.
We're finally up to chapter 3. I don't know what's going to happen.
Nobody knows.
I mean, is it going to be?
Could be anything.
Is it going to be IO? Probably. Is it going to be ghosts? Is it going to be? Yeah. I mean, we don't know. We don't know. What happened to Agent Jonesy? What happened to Dr. Sloan? What happened to the scientist? The 7? We don't know, but we might find out in chapter 3.
I'm not going to find out.
No, you're not going to find out. No.
Ever.
And also Naruto, but we talked about that last week.
Batman's still there?
Batman, I mean, you can still play as Batman, but there's no Batman-themed house anymore.
Trash.
It's been gone for a long time.
Game's trash.
Yeah, no.
No Batman. No Bat House.
No Batman Shack is what it was.
Right. Well, the big news this week is Bobby Kotick covering up sexual misconduct and a lot of bad Activision stories coming out. But it seems like the company is really going to stick by him. The board seems to really like Bobby. And
it's very disheartening. But,
it's not like they're putting out all these fucking great games too. It's still like
it doesn't matter. The board doesn't care. I mean, let's face it. The board only cares that they're making money, that they have money and money is being made, and all they see is that bottom line. And it doesn't matter about doing the right thing or the good thing. They only care about the money thing. And Bobby Kotick, as far as they're concerned, is the money thing. Although there was a group of shareholders today that came out and said that they want him to step down or be removed from the company because what he did is pretty despicable.
Right.
Because it's pretty gross.
Yeah. Just in case you don't know, there was a guy who worked for the organization who says was accused by a female employee of sexually harassing her after a night of drinking. And there was an internal investigation that recommended that this guy be fired. But Mr. Kotick intervened personally to keep him. And people don't like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Because
rightfully so.
Yeah. And they're not going to get rid of him. And I would say there's nothing we can do about it unless I guess everybody on the planet just uninstalled their Call of Duty.
Everything.
Yeah. Their everything. Mm-hmm.
There's not much that they're putting out these days except for Call of Duty.
Well, they have their free to play, and thing now.
What do
That's
you
all
mean?
that matters.
What's that?
You know, their game. What the hell is that game called? Why am I losing my mind?
Call of Duty?
No. Yeah, well, Call of Duty. But
Warzone?
Yeah, Warzone.
Oh, but
Thank you.
that's Call of Duty. So that counts as Call of Duty. I mean, they
I know,
basically
but
make
it's
Call of
still-
Duty now. That's what Activision is. I don't know why like Kotick is so revered. Like all he did was say like, "Hey, we're just gonna make a lot of Call of Duty," and everything else like
the Blizzard stuff.
what?
The Blizzard stuff.
But name
Diablo
some games that have
2.
come out recently.
Diablo 2 again.
Diablo 2 again came out.
Fucking awesome
But
leadership.
Warzone-
Fucking nailed it.
Warzone is the thing. Warzone is the thing. And people keep playing it and they keep pumping their money into it. And there's no real overhead to it. I mean, that's even better. It's like we're making the money.
A lot of
without
overhead
over-
to it.
There's a lot of overhead. I would say.
Let me
That's
rephrase
all
that.
that's all they do is make Call of Duty games. So that's all their overhead is making
they're
Call of Duty
making-
games.
They're not reinventing anything. There's no.
Hey,
it's-
they
it's the
remastered Tony
same.
Hawk.
It's the same Warzone. It's the same
Tony Hawk came out.
Diablo. It's the same Tony Hawk. It's just the same, and they're
No, but,
making
I mean,
money.
Warzone's a game as a service, so it's like really different. But it's
That's
still
what
like it's still Call of Duty, and then so they make a Call of Duty game every
I
year.
know.
They have their free to play game,
So,
and then free to play Call of Duty, and then that what else? Like
are you willing?
They
Are you
crapped
willing
out
to?
Tony
ta-
Hawk. I mean, that's a
are
good
you
game,
willing
but
to?
It was a
chibi?
good crap out of Tony
it's
Hawk.
good. It's good, but it's like not
Yeah.
exactly like a big investment to put that out. And
Yeah,
it
but
was-
again, and we're losing sight of this anyway. Is that there's bad things going on, and is there anything that the consumer could do to turn the screws to get someone like a Bobby Kotick taken out of the company?
yeah, say they're not buying or playing Call of Duty. That's it.
Yes. Would you remove the Warzone channel from the Discord?
Would I? I don't
Yes,
use
you.
it. It makes no difference to me. Why would I wouldn't be the one to make that?
Well, it's
call?
your Discord channel. It's not my.
But these guys, but that's dumb.
I-
That's punishing Bobby Kotick.
No, it's
punishing
punishing.
the 7 people on our
it's-
Discord who use it.
Yeah, you use it, and maybe they'll be like, "Oh, they got rid of this."
That's not my
May-
job to do that. I'm not their dad.
My good friends Cheapy and Wombat think that we should stop playing
I
Call
don't
of Duty
think that.
Warzone.
I don't think that. I didn't say that. You asked me a question on what it would take. I didn't say that people should do that. You asked me what I thought it would take.
That's what, okay. So
I don't think people should stop playing the game because of that. I mean, there's a lot of people that work for the company that are not named Bobby Kotick, and they're working
and they
on
all
that
want
game.
him fired too.
What's that?
All the people that work at Activision want Bobby Kotick fired.
I
too.
know. Well, I don't know about that, but certainly a lot of them seem to be pretty vocal about it.
There was
but
another walkout today too. Yeah. Not even vocal, like
they left.
walking
Yeah,
out.
sure. I mean, I get it. I just my point is like I just don't see what he's doing that's so great that everybody the board needs to be defending him. Like you get a smart guy, put him in front of the company, maybe a guy who's willing to take a risk once in a while, and maybe you'll make some more games. Like I'm an Activision shareholder. That's what I say you should do. Where's my vote? Nobody asked me my vote. So that's my vote. Do that. Get rid of this guy. You can find another guy. There's plenty of Long Island guys to replace him. You don't need plenty of smart guys around.
I say put Tony Hawk in there.
I don't even.
He's smart.
The other thing is, if you
Yeah.
had that much money,
Yeah, why even work? Because he likes the
why
power.
would you put yourself through this? I mean, is that
He
really
likes
what
the
it
power.
is?
He likes the power. He
likes
doesn't
to
want
be
to go
able to
out
say
like that. Like a
He likes to
bitch.
be untouchable. Like
Wanna
it
go out
doesn't
like a
matter what I
bitch.
do. Yeah.
He wants to go out when he says so. When he says it's time, not when like people complain about it. That's not a good way to end your career. He wants to go out on top. Meanwhile, can't even get a new Diablo game out.
He's gonna be the next.
Can't even get a
Steve
new
Bannon.
Overwatch game out. How fucking lame is that? It's Overwatch. It's not even like we're talking about like some unattainable thing.
Well, to be fair, Overwatch was never good. So
No, that's not true. Come
it
on.
was never good.
It is good, and it had a
They'll
lot of
probably
players.
remaster it soon.
Yeah.
No, but nobody wants that. They want.
Overwatch shiny and new.
I think what people
Overwatch
want.
shiny. Look, you can play as Cowboy with new name.
No, they're
new name
making-
Cowboy.
They're not even doing that.
Shoot in a line, walk in a line, shoot things. Cowboy, new name. Overwatch.
Yeah, that's basically all that's happening, and that's why the people who like Overwatch are mad. And that it's not something like Apex Legends where it's just constantly,
They're not going to do anything
evolving.
with Overwatch because they have Warzone.
No,
Yeah, it doesn't
because
make
they're
any
making.
sense.
Well, they're selling. No, they sell it as a $50 game. They got plenty of people to buy it the first time. It is an esport. Like it is supposed to make money for them. It's just fucking. Where's the game? No game.
It's called Warzone.
It's a different game. It's totally different.
100
They don't-
Skylanders drop onto an island.
Yeah,
Yeah, where's that?
Game,
Where's that?
That I would play.
Anything?
I would play Skylander Royale.
Bobby's too busy counting his money. He's not approving new games to be made. All right, enough talking about that.
New games to be made.
What's that?
He's not going to approve new.
I
games
know.
to
That's
be
what I'm
made.
saying.
Yeah, he likes his money.
He likes no risks. I don't like that.
He likes no risk, big reward. I don't blame him for
Sucks.
that. I blame him for being a douchebag. It's
That's all part of the douchebag experience.
mm-hmm.
All right, where are we? I think we're ready for some. Oh, wait, there's some game here that we were supposed to talk about during this. Dice Dungeons? Was that from last week?
No, that's this week. I started playing that. They added that to Game Pass. Are you
Mhm.
familiar with that game?
Uh-huh.
Is that a yes?
Uh-huh.
Have you played it?
No.
I know it's on a lot of systems. It's a roguelike. It's almost like those card battling games.
Slay the Spire. Mhm.
Yeah. It's like a Slay the Spire type game, but instead of cards, it's dice that you roll, and you roll the dice, and it allows you to play certain cards based on the dice you have.
It's got dice and cards?
It's got dice and cards. And it's
Too
fun.
complicated.
Good.
Okay, it sounds good. Dice
It's
Dungeons on
actually
Game
very
Pass?
easy. It's very pick up and play. It's a lot of fun. Games are quick. It's not crushingly hard either.
Does it pair well with Forza Horizon 5 and Halo?
It pairs really well with Forza Horizon 5 because it's completely different and requires a completely different time commitment.
So not an entire day off.
No, it's not a day off game. I've got 15 minutes, but I want to play something before I go to bed. Dice Dungeons.
Got it. Let's move on to the CAG bag. This is from, I screen capped it and I can't read this guy's full name. Member when Taco Bell was good. Oh, I get it. He said, can we talk about Best Buy and this Total Tech BS requirement to get an OLED switch? So Best Buy is now, if you want to get like these hard in-demand items like OLED switch or a PS5 or probably like an Xbox Series X, you have to be a total, what's it called? Total Tech something.
Yeah, I think it's Total Tech. Member?
There's another word though, right? No, member? Just member? Oh.
Probably a member.
Which is $200 a year. And that'll give you the ability to purchase these things when they come up. Yeah,
so
this
is happening at every retailer.
Yes.
Right? You got your Walmart Plus, you got your Amazon Prime. I'm probably forgetting. Yeah, does GameStop do some of these things?
Yes,
too?
yes.
Yeah, GameStop. That's all the retailers left, right? That's all we got.
Toys R Us is coming back to Macy's. You're gonna be in the basement of Macy's for like 3 weeks.
Get your Toys R Us basement pass so you can get all your things you need. It's on one hand, yes, it sucks. On the other hand, it is a way to help eliminate scalpers, right? Like because scalpers aren't signing up for $200
creating
$50.
multiple accounts.
Right. They're not
It eats into the margin too much. It's too risky.
Right. So you're not signing up for all these memberships everywhere so you can scalp systems.
Right.
So on one hand, it's good. On the other hand, yeah, like it doesn't feel right. Like you see stuff come up and it's like, oh, I want to buy that, but I need a membership. Like it's fine if like Costco does that because that's their whole game, right? Like,
right.
Got to have a Costco membership to buy it.
Meanwhile, if it was GCU and you had to have a GCU membership to buy these things, people would be like, fuck yeah, I got my GCU, getting the Xbox. Like, how much did that cost again? That was like, I can't even remember.
It was like $60 or $80 a year. It was not cheap.
I feel like wasn't it like $100 for 2 years? No.
All I remember
Something
is
like
I remember getting it like there was like a deal with it.
Yes.
Though.
Yeah, there was a deal that you got it extra cheap.
So I remember getting it for like nothing and
right.
getting my 20, was it 20% off? 10% off?
Striker in the chat says
off.
Originally it was $180.
But I feel like it got cut in half or something. At one point.
Yeah.
Yeah, like there was like a big discount on it where it was like, of course everybody should buy this.
Right.
We did.
And we did. They really, I'm sure now they have the technology to cut down on what was going on with GCU, which was people were using it as like to resell the games.
They cut down. Yeah, they cut down on that during it as well, right? Like they limited you to like 6 copies of a game, I think it was.
Right, but I'm saying now we have the technology at least to sort of like prevent like individuals from signing up for multiple accounts. At least a little bit easier. They probably have ways to lock that down, to make it less attractive to be abused like that, which is why GCU got shut down.
Yeah, people in the chat are saying originally it was $180, then it like got cut to like $100 for 2 years, and then it got like slashed all the way to $30. Like it was all over. It was, nobody had control over it at Best Buy, right? Like it seemed like nobody really knew what was going on.
What to do with it. And I feel like they could bring that back, and they could almost charge like what they're, maybe not $200 a year, but
maybe at this point, like with $70 games, like it adds up quick, right?
You could, right. They could do it. They could bring it back. I'm going to talk to my guy about it.
You talk to your guy about it. Make it happen.
I asked him about it a long time ago.
Yeah. The nomenclature of that it's bad as well. It just doesn't sit right. Like that I need these Best Buy people to like, it's the whole Geek Squad thing, right? Like this seems like an extension of Geek Squad.
They want you to meet the squad. Get to know the squad.
I don't know. It's just the whole idea of like, well, this is just a store that has a product.
It's like a private membership.
Why can't I just buy the thing at the store?
Because they can't make enough.
And it's at the store. Yeah. If the store has the thing, can I buy the thing at the store?
Yes.
Well, are you a member of this thing? No, I'm just in the store because you have doors.
You can't get it in the store. That's ridiculous. Online, if you're talking about online, but in the store you can't walk in and buy anything.
No. This question is from Sean Franklin. He asks, he wants a review from Shipwreck on the Megan Thee Stallion's chicken sandwich.
That's at Popeyes, right?
That's the Popeyes. Yeah, I stopped by and I didn't even know it was a thing, really. Like I'm driving into the Popeyes because, well, quite frankly, it's right next to the Chick-fil-A, and the line at Popeyes is about like 1/5 the size of the line at Chick-fil-A, which is crazy, right? Like there's like a Popeyes, a Chick-fil-A,
I don't
and
like
a Wendy's.
I prefer the Popeyes sandwich to the Chick-fil-A sandwich personally. But
they're all fine chicken sandwiches.
Well, one is like crunchy, and Chick-fil-A isn't like crunchy. It's like,
I feel like you'll survive longer if you eat Chick-fil-A's more than if like you were just going to survive on Popeye's chicken sandwiches. Like not the route to go.
I don't know. I like a crunchy chicken sandwich, but anyway, you're saying, go on.
So yeah, like I pull in, and then like there's of course the big window clings on the windows of like Megan Thee Stallion hottie sauce. I'm like, oh, I guess I'm getting that. So yeah, like you pull up to the drive-thru and you're like, I want the thing. Like you gotta say you gotta say the whole thing. Like so you're like, yes, I'd like the chicken sandwich with Megan Thee Stallion hottie sauce. And then
you can't just ask for the Megan Thee Stallion sandwich.
You can't just say my WAP would like a chicken sandwich.
I hate that at all restaurants, right? Like everybody hates that, right? Like where you see something on the menu, but it's like named some ridiculous thing. And so you try to say it like in a way that's not going to make you sound like an idiot. Like, I just want this chicken burrito here, not the like chicken.
You don't want a fresh and fruity Rudy Tooty.
Yeah. I don't want the Rudy Tooty fresh and fruity.
Rudy Tooty fresh and fruity.
The sandwich is pretty good. I mean, it's their standard chicken sandwich,
which is a good sandwich.
It's like a sweet hot sauce on top, so it's not like buffalo sauce.
Is it like a Thai chili sauce?
It's a little bit like that, but a little bit buffalo-y. It's pretty good sauce.
That sounds kind of gross.
It's pretty good. Good job, Megan Thee Stallion.
I do like the spicy chicken sandwich at Wendy's, though.
You've talked about it before. A lot of people like the spicy chicken sandwich. There's a
Spicy
reason
chicken
why it's the
sandwich.
number 6 on their menu.
Yeah.
Wombat, have
sandwich.
you had the spicy chicken sandwich at Small Batch at Roosevelt Field?
No, but I bet that's good.
It's very good. I heard somebody order it once at the table across from us, and it was too spicy for her. She couldn't eat it. I was like, oh my God, this is so controversial. She only ate like around the sandwich. And like the waiter came to check because it was obvious, like she only ate like 10% of it. It was mostly the bread. And she's like, yeah, it's just too spicy for me. So I ordered it after I heard that, like, like a year later. It was pretty spicy. Like my head was definitely wet. Like when I eat spicy food, the top of my head gets wet to the point where like if I put my hand on it and I show you my hand, it's wet. So
I don't
yes.
think Megan Thee Stallion would make you wet.
This just had a lot of chili oil in it. Sorry, I stepped on that. Fuck. Right.
Yeah, everybody should try it though.
Okay.
It's a quality sandwich.
There's not a Popeyes near me. That's the problem.
That's a good thing. That means you live in a good area.
There are no Popeyes nearby. I have a PDQ that's fairly close, and they also make a beans. They probably make the best of the spicy chicken sandwiches of the fast foods.
We don't really have those around here. I don't believe.
They're not everywhere, which is why not everyone knows what it is. But the PDQ spicy chicken sandwich I actually like better than the Popeyes. So that's just me.
And that's your chicken sandwich update from the CAGcast.
I like a good spicy chicken sandwich. It's not like I have one all the time, but when I do,
Different
I'm
one
gonna
every
get the
day.
one I like. Yeah, I have one every day. I have a spicy. Look, I eat a fried spicy chicken sandwich every day, 3 times a day.
It's
and
from
when
a different restaurant. It's fine. It's very balanced.
It's a well thought out, balanced meal. It goes well with the cauliflower rice I had for dinner.
Right. Wow. Good cauliflower rice. That doesn't sound very
Did you
filling.
not listen to the ad?
No, I did not. Did you see
I
I
had
was
the
banana?
I had the Southwestern grilled the turkey burgers with the cauliflower rice.
Right.
It's good.
I'm still not listening. Sorry.
Poblano peppers.
Yeah,
Good
yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. Love it.
Mhm.
All right. Let's do the fucking ad then. We're wrapping up the show. We might as well.
Mhm. Oh, I have to do that now.
I might as well.
Okay. Well, HelloFresh. Go to hellofresh.com/CAGcast14 and use code CAGcast14 for up to 14 free meals and 3 free gifts. Also, trade. Go to drinktrade.com/CAGcast and use promo code CAGcast. Take the quiz to start your journey to the perfect cup.
Yeah. And also discord.gg/CAG. Is that it? Yeah, that's it. For our Discord. And we're off next week, right?
Yes.
Yes. Thanksgiving. Hope everybody has a wonderful Thanksgiving. And we're gonna raid Code's house now, who is a tech house DJ, and you'll probably like it. He has good visuals. I think you'll enjoy it. So thank you, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.
All right, bread's done.